Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, on our hotline right now, hosting 6 to 9 WNSR, Monday through Friday. I'm going to make sure we throw that in, not Saturdays, not Sundays, and sometimes not if there's snow either, because that happens as well. And Bill, we appreciate you joining us as always on these Tuesdays. How's it going?
You ever hear Joe Walsh tell the story about Rocky Mountain Way?
Yes, I have. I think we played it here before.
Where he's on his mower looking up at the mountains and he realizes leaving the James gang was the right thing to do?
Yes, I remember hearing him sing that.
That's good. Yeah, it was good. I never knew that till about a month ago.
Yeah, that is a good one. I enjoy your show. I listen, a few times throughout each week, and I'd noticed. So we brought up Bill has a verboten list, words that you cannot say on the show, and there's a new. It's not a word. I guess it is a word on the verboten list, and the word is playoff. You will not refer to what we've been watching in college football over these last 3 weeks as a playoff. So what do you call it, and why do you call it that?
Money Grab Invitational so our acronym is MGI. The impetus is I so disdain Sunday football. And I hear all these announcers, radio shows, TV, and I hear the word playoff to the point where it's fingernails down a chalkboard. And this last year, it finally just overwhelmed me. And I still slip up accidentally and say it. I said it on Monday once. But I just put it, now our verboten list is really long. But it got added, and it is a Money Grab Invitational. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily as a critique. I'm just accurately portraying what it is. And that's and I've told the audience, if you've got something better, I'll scrap it and get rid of MGI, but right now that's what it is.
Bill, when you're looking at this Ohio State Notre Dame game, any chance? Because it felt like last week, Phil and I were talking. It's kind of like with UConn in basketball the last couple years, and UConn's coach is like, we're not good at winning close games, so that's why we blow everybody out. But we're looking for a reason for somebody to beat Ohio State. Does Notre Dame have any type of chance against Ohio State?
I'll give you the magic wand. It's unlikely, but here's the magic wand. Number one, it's got to be a grind. It cannot be athletes running out in space. That is not, in this game, Notre Dame's best interest. They got to get to Will Howard. The game cannot get out of the low 20s. That might be too much for Notre Dame, but it can't get out of the low 20s. A chance to win it in the second half, keep it close to three quarters. That's the formula. If it's a runaway, Ohio State's running away with this ball game. So it's going to take all of that and a nice cocktail to perfectly come out for Notre Dame to have a chance.
Hey, any truth if you see? Do you think Dion, if he goes to Dallas, is that thing in Colorado? Does it just blow up right in front of our eyes just as quick as it came to?
Rick George, who's a good friend, is the AD out there, and his outside-the-box thinking was, I got to get somebody, not just the next coach, who's going to do things different. We got to completely go off script, and it looked really choppy once we got into last year and then early this year. And I was a pretty big critic. It turned out marvelously well, and there's not another guy that fits that description. If Dion is gone, I think you go right back to being a 2-10 team.
I wanted to say, back to the championship game, or at least just the way the playoff has been constructed. You're looking at the rankings, and I know people have said, well, by the rankings, Notre Dame would not have made the playoff. But the committee knew what they were doing here because Notre Dame can't get a bye, so why put them in the top four anyway? If this was a 4-team playoff, I think Notre Dame still would have been in, maybe. Now, that loss to Northern Illinois is a lot worse than a Penn State loss to Ohio State in the regular season, and then they lose the Big Ten championship. Do you think Notre Dame would have been included in a 14 playoff this year?
Probably not. I think the NIU squawking and screeching would have overwhelmed everybody. Probably not.
Yeah, sounds about right there. But I mean, people will look at the idea that there's that none of the top four teams are in this and call that a Right. See, we should have been doing this all these years. That there's theoretically 3 or maybe just 4 teams each year that look like they could play for a national championship. Do you buy into, that narrative that now that none of the top 4 seeds are in, that means that the 12-team playoff is the way that it should have been all these years?
I don't, and I'm in the minority. I don't think we've got 12 teams worthy. But, again, it's the Money Grab Invitational, and they're trying to be inclusive. I get it. There's not eight teams good enough to be in this thing and be competitive, in my humble opinion, and that is with the top of the SEC down. The problem with the SEC right now isn't that name, image, likeness has finally equaled everybody up. It's that the top of the league is down, and that's just a cyclical thing. Georgia's not what they need to be. Alabama's a couple of notches where they need to be. You can't be right if that's the case. And no, but guys, they're going to expand to 14, and we got one more year of this. And by the way, the season has lasted way too long. This is the first time in my life that I felt that way. Every year for the last 10 trillion years, when the college football season is over, I'm grasping. I'm wanting to know what just happened. Like, what is there nothing else? What can I grab onto? This year, for the first time in my existence, it hit me. This is lasting way too long.
I'm totally with you on this. And I did not like the idea that college football moved the semifinals to get away from the NFL playoffs. I know why they did it, but right. I don't like that they felt they had to do it. To me, that's an indication the season's too long. I don't know how you fix this. You could start the playoff earlier, start the season a little bit earlier, but I do think there's no reason for the college football season to go all the way to January 20th.
No doubt about it. And they got a whole lot to fix. Now, you've got the NCAA convention going on right here in the 615, and you've also got meetings that will start happening in Atlanta about the future of the playoffs, formatics, things of that nature, the seeding, which right now they don't think they can get changed for this next year because you need unanimous consent, and the smaller leagues aren't going to go along with you, unless, of course, you're the SEC and the Big Ten and you threaten them, which might well happen. But they've got a lot they have to ponder and a bunch they need to fix.
Hey, Bill, I saw where Matthew Golden from Texas is going to enter the draft. Is he a sure first-round pick?
I think he's borderline. He's a heck of a playmaker.
Yeah, he is.
But, yeah, I think he's right up there in the top 30 to 40 players. I think borderline, I wouldn't take him in the top 10 or 15.
Well, so Drew Aller's coming back. No surprise there. Quinn Ewers, does he come back?
If he does, it's not going to be in Texas.
You think he Carson Becks it? So you look at Carson Beck, he's going to get $2.5-3 million at Miami. If you're not a first round pick in the NFL, it would behoove you not to enter the draft. Kind of like what Cam Ward did. He got his grade back and said, you know what, because you're not going to make $3 million if you're a third round quarterback. Yeah,
and there were a lot of rumors we talked about that. I think there was some validity to them about 3 weeks ago about Ewers and Notre Dame. I don't think anything is going on there. And I don't know. You got to remember, Miami had a couple things going. Number one, they lose Cam Ward, and they are spending very frivolously in the portal. We do know that. But the other thing is, guys, he wouldn't be at Miami if it wasn't for his girlfriend. His girlfriend, one of the Cavender twins, who plays on the basketball team, that's the only reason he's going to Miami.
Yeah, they better be a really happy couple if he's moving for this one reason. They better stay together forever.
Think about that city you're in. If things go bad, God knows what could happen.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Hey, we got this situation of, I was kicking this around earlier because they're going to have walk-on tryouts for Arkansas football in 10 days. And I keep thinking, wait a minute. And after spring, they've got to lose players. Like, you have to get guys into the transfer portal so that you can hit the number for the roster counter. And that also hits me. Now we've got junior college players with more eligibility. I think eventually soon there might be an extra year of eligibility, just blanket thrown onto anybody that's a college athlete now. And it's the junior college rule that is the reason why. Because we've got these freshmen that are not freshmen, they're high school seniors. And they're coming into college sports at a time where If you played junior college, you have another year of eligibility. Now we've got players that are looking to stick around a little bit longer because they can make more money. And there's fewer opportunities for the high school seniors just in terms of roster spots. And, I think that's coming down the line like right now. Like this is something the coaches are dealing with right now.
Might be. Now, they are talking about just a blanket 5-year. Play 5 years. We give you 5 years. No worrying about redshirting. Do away with the national letter, which they are doing that. But look, in those walk-on trials, it's probably a needle in a haystack, but maybe Hunter Renfro's in there, right? He was an unknown. Nobody wanted. Maybe a Cam Scatterboot somewhere in there. Maybe a Stetson Bennett. Now, I'm not picking positions for Arkansas. I'm just saying it's worth a try to see what's in there.
Or a Forrest Gump, just kind of running away from the Bulls.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, he's running a 100-yard dash.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.